If you want the Rock to bring his ass to this ring, give me a hell yeah.
Well, yeah, absolutely. WB Ward back with you once again, along with
Mr. Chip Douglas.
And we have another SCI Wrestling.
Wrestling.
I have to think about that SCI
every time.
You know, of course, you know, we cover professional wrestling, and there are still, WWE is not the only promoter out there, but they are the 600-pound gorilla in the room. So therefore, a lot of our talk centers around WWE.
Right.
You know, one great thing about the WWE is their sensitivity and their idea of connecting emotionally, both with the fans and with the talent in the ring. I mean, like the upcoming pay-per-view. I mean, stop and think of the name of that. I mean, why else would a company be so thoughtful to have an entire pay-per-view centered around tender, loving care? I think that's just awesomely, just awesome.
You know, it's funny, because I actually tweeted a little while ago just saying, you know, hey, check out the SCI Wrestling tonight.
Yes.
And I put hashtag TLC. But then I thought to myself, I really hope people understand, or it doesn't go to like all the ones that's trending tender loving care.
Yeah, I should, well, I'll let you correct it. What the TCL stands for.
What? Tables, ladders, and chairs.
TLC.
Yeah,
I mean,
tables,
TLC.
ladders, and chairs.
Yeah, tables. It's not tender loving care.
Not even close.
No. But believe me, there's nothing
in
tender.
In some cultures, yes.
There's nothing tender. There's nothing loving, and ain't nobody care. That's, that much is certain. But still looking forward to a good show. We do have our predictions, for TLC, and we're going to take a brief look at some of the Slammys. Were you disappointed in the Slammys? Were you surprised? What was your overall feeling on that?
I think I was surprised, disappointed on some of them, but some of them I was really happy with.
Okay.
Mixed feelings, I guess.
Mine was also kind of a solid bowl. There were some that I had a feeling I knew exactly what was going to happen, and sure enough, what I thought was going to happen did, and I was still disappointed. I mean, that's a symbol of a man who absolutely cannot be pleased no matter what in the world that I do.
Right.
We'll get into all of that right now. Wait for it. It's almost time. Here we go.
Yeah! You know, once a week we do this show, and this is the one thing that stays regular.
Yep.
You can always expect a tweet. There we go.
Okay.
Tweet of the week brought to you by Damian Sandow. And this was from Monday night.
Thank you.
Before the show. It says, quote of the day: if I don't win a Slammy, there will be no more quote of the day.
Thank you. He's still one of my favorites.
I love Damian Sandow.
He's a good guy, and I love the beard.
Oh, yeah. The beard's great.
And speaking of the Slammys, the one thing that I knew what was going to happen on the fan participation, pushing Daniel Bryan. They're pushing Daniel Bryan more than somebody pushes crack in West Tulsa.
Oh, okay? No. I completely disagree with you.
Oh, we have dissension.
I think what we saw was, crowd participation and what the fans really think, because this guy went from main eventing to, being in a kind of a irreverent storyline.
Yes. Now this is true. Now, of course, how did how the yes chant had started? It started with Daniel Bryan running to the ring, and he was yelling, yes, yes, yes.
Well, actually, didn't it start with no?
Well, I don't remember which one of the two.
I can't remember what started first.
But it was instigated though by Daniel Bryan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Go back in time to Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Mm-hmm.
What? He's the one who instigated that.
Yep.
It started there. Also with, awesome.
Miz.
The Miz, yeah. With the crowd chanting awesome. So, occasionally not so much anymore.
Yeah.
He started that.
Right.
Mr. Kennedy.
Yep.
The crowds chanted, but the wrestlers always started it.
Right.
For the very first time in a long time, it has happened before, but only once that I can think of. We had something happen where the fans' response was completely spontaneous and totally unintended, and WWE had virtually nothing to do with that, and that's Fandango's theme song.
Yeah. Yeah.
People would erupt in that theme song in airports, on airplanes, checkout lanes, in schools, without any provocation whatsoever.
Right.
I think the WWE missed the boat on acknowledging that.
Yeah, I agree. It was one of a kind type things, and it all started at WrestleMania. And I haven't seen anything like that since the Goldberg chants. I think that was
Goldberg was the other example I was thinking.
When the Goldberg chant started before his entrance music even started.
Yes.
That wasn't something that was planned. That was just something that just happened. But the Fandango song and the little stupid little dance with the arms and fingers going side to side. It was created, and it's sad that they haven't really took advantage of that.
And I think they missed the mark on that. Okay. I don't have my rundown up here in front of me. But what else was there anything else that bugged you about the Slammys?
Well, I want to not really so much the Slammys, but since you brought up the topic of the yes, I want to go into the last segment of Raw.
Oh,
and
yes.
With the former World Heavyweight Champions and WWE Champions. And one thing that they did not expect was the Daniel Bryan chants and yes chants during that segment.
They had some great stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, and Hunter came up with a great line in that. When you may recall when the yes chant started, they just kind of let it go on for a little bit, and finally Hunter looked around over at Daniel. Daniel, that's a lot of family for one crowd. I thought that was precious.
But apparently, backstage, Vince McMahon was actually furious about it.
Oh,
just because of the fact that this segment was not supposed to be anywhere focused around Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
It was supposed to build up the unified championship title match for TLC between John Cena and Randy Orton. And John Cena pointing out Daniel Bryan was complete ad-libbed. That was not scripted at all. John Cena, to his credit, I'll give him credit where credit's due. He went with the crowd.
Absolutely.
That's
part of the reason why John Cena is so powerful at what he does.
Exactly. And John Cena's promo was absolutely awesome. Awesome promo. But I give him major props to that. But boy, to me, it's like you missed the boat. You can't be upset. You can't be mad because obviously you missed the boat with him. It doesn't matter what the pay-per-view buy-ins are. Because you just had, I don't know how many people were there, 12, 15,000 people, completely almost ruin your last segment before John Cena saved it, really.
Yeah. Yeah. John Cena stepped up to the plate. He did kind of bring it home for him.
Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I do think that we're getting ready to see a turn, with Bryan going to the Wyatt family and then being lined up with the Authority. I see that happening. Don't forget the way they had this set up where Daniel Bryan stepped out of the way or pushed Randy Orton into Stephanie McMahon.
Right.
Which brought the Triple H in to, of course, defend his wife's honor.
Right.
But it all started with Daniel Bryan.
Right.
And I think we're getting ready to see this come full circle fairly quickly.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
That'll be interesting.
But back to the Slammys, ones that kind of jumped out to me was definitely the laugh out moment of the year.
Okay. Yeah.
Because this is one that I predicted.
Yes, you did.
And it was really good to see the Rock get his credit where his credit's due, because I used to love his little sing-along moments.
And I will concede that you did accurately predict that. However, I still think Titus O'Neil should have gotten some props for his puking.
I still haven't seen that.
Oh, it's great.
Maybe I should watch it, and that would have changed my vote.
Listen, when they played that back on Main Event and a few of the other playback segments, they actually censor it.
Really?
They do. They censor it. It was, I believe, a legitimate puke.
Oh, jeez.
So I think my statement I said last week turned out to be correct. Titus is one of these people who can puke on command.
Wow.
And that's just gross.
It is gross.
That's just gross. But it was funny.
It was.
And Jinder Mahal and Great Khali trying to charm the Cobra. Asking somebody to charm the Cobra, that's something I would present to AJ. You want to charm my Cobra?
Now, there's in I think it's Chikara Pro, which is like an independent wrestling organization. They have like these masked wrestlers, and they actually do a bit to where they pretend to hypnotize the other wrestlers. And the other wrestler kind of pretends he actually is hypnotized. So it's comical. No. It's supposed to be comical.
I hope so.
But yeah, it's really funny. I'll have to show that to you on YouTube.
That sounds as weak as WCW trying to use stage illusions from magicians.
That's true.
I mean, that was just, having been a magician and having worked in professional wrestling, I was so ashamed on both counts when I saw them trying to do that. That was just so bad. That was just so bad. Okay, our Tender Loving Care predictions for the week.
Tables, Ladders, and Chairs pay-per-view. That's going to be
Tables,
airing
Ladders, and Chairs.
this Sunday.
Yep.
Live from somewhere in America. I forgot. Can't tell you where.
It's in that big building.
It's in that giant arena.
It's in that big building that seats a lot of people. That's where it is. Okay. We'll just go ahead and go on with the Cena versus Orton unified title match TLC rules. I'm still going to hold to my earlier prediction. I'm going to say it's going to be a draw.
Okay. All right. Now, do you, with the last segment, they really kind of teased a Cena heel turn. Mm-hmm. With that last segment with, after Triple H pedigree Randy Orton.
There was a very subtle, but yes.
But I think that's what they were trying to build around. So I don't see that happening. I'm going to go and say that Orton wins.
Okay.
With some help, of course. But I do think that what we saw on Monday was Cena kind of standing there with Triple H and Kane and Stephanie was all just kind of a ploy to help Orton win.
You care to stick your head out, stick your neck out and, say who you think Orton is going to get help from? Because if anybody's going to help Orton, I think it's going to be the Wyatts.
I'm actually, okay, can I go on a really big limb?
Sure.
Daniel Bryan.
Really?
That's what I'm going to say.
Well, now then you're going to have to concede to what I was saying about Daniel Bryan earlier, possibly turning heel and joining the Authority.
Yeah, and I'm not going to, I can see that being a possibility.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go on a limb and say that Daniel Bryan is going to cost John Cena the championship.
Okay. I'm sticking with the draw. Okay. Punk v. Shield.
I hate this. I hate how they stack this pay-per-view.
I think it's obvious. I think it's obvious the Shield is going to win.
Yeah, I'm going to say the Shield. No, I'm going to say, I'm going to say Punk wins somehow.
Okay.
I don't know how they're going to play this one. I'm kind of at a loss for the next two matches we're predicting.
Well, see, I'm thinking the Shield is going to win, but Punk's going to kick their butt.
Right.
I mean, I think he's going to exact a firm measure of revenge here.
Okay. I'm just going to vary from you a little bit, and I will say that Punk wins. This could be someone breaking off of the Shield, possibly. I can see that happen. Maybe Roman Reigns somehow, decides to, turn face or whatever, but I'm going to say Punk.
Okay. The next one is not as difficult as you think. Because between the Wyatt family and Daniel Bryan in a handicap match, and no, we're not talking about wheelchairs or crutches.
Yeah.
I'm thinking there's not going to be a winner at all.
I don't either.
I do not think the match is ever going to get started.
Well, I do think the match is going to happen. But I think it's going to go to a draw. Or not to a draw, but maybe some kind of double disqualification or something.
Okay, we'll just go ahead and classify you as a draw. Okay. Because a double DQ would be just that.
Right.
I'm just going to say no winner because, quite frankly, I don't think the match is going to happen.
You think they got to show it. I mean, they got to do something.
I think he'll join the Wyatt family.
All right.
No, so I'm not only saying I'm not going to say draw. I'm just going to say no winner.
Yeah, I remember you saying that you're culture, not intelligent. So
that's true.
So makes sense.
Darn good thing I'm good looking though. Okay. This next match, I kind of have to question their thinking. Because whereas I like...
No pun intended with Damian Sandow.
I do like Biggie Langston, and I do like Damian Sandow.
Right.
I like both of them. I just don't think that's a good match.
Okay.
I don't think it's a good match. I really don't. I think either one has the capability of beating the other. I don't know. For me, the personalities together in the ring it just doesn't work. So I'm going to withhold on this because I honestly don't know.
I'm going to say Langston. Langston retains.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm recording these here. Bear with me. Chip.
I can't believe you're not saying.
Well, it's just that on this one, this is one of those weird things for me. Because it's just the two personalities I don't even think should be in the ring together. And it's not any slam against either one of them. It's just, I can't picture them together in any context.
Right.
And it's just like, gosh, what are you guys, what are you doing? I wish I could add something to that where it makes a little more sense.
Right.
But it's just a combination. Okay. It'd be kind of like trying to put Martha Stewart on the singing a record with
Martha Stewart, the homemaker.
Yeah,
oh,
Martha
okay.
Stewart, the homemaker, singing a rap song with any rap artist. Fill in the blank.
Okay.
I mean, it's just not a combination
okay,
that you would expect to see. It's not anything against either one of the talents,
right?
Which in that case there would be talent on neither end of the stick. But it's just two personalities just don't work,
right?
And for me, that's where I am with that match.
Okay, all right. Pre-show,
Ziggler versus Fandango. I've got to go with Fandango. I have got to go with Fandango on that.
I'm gonna say Dolph Ziggler.
Okay, just to be adversarial, or do you have a reason?
No, I don't have a reason.
Okay. I'm
excited about this next match. And I really didn't actually know this was happening. But it's a fatal 4-way for the tag team championships where we got the Rhodes brothers versus Big Show and Mysterio versus Axel and Ryback. So basically Team Heyman versus the Real Americans. Wait a minute.
It's not an 8-man tag team. It's a 4-way fatal.
Yeah. It's a fatal 4-way, for the tag team championships.
Okay, so the Rhodes brothers are one team.
Right.
Big Show and Mysterio are another team.
Right.
Axel and Ryback is one team, and the Real Americans is another team.
So 4 teams.
Okay. A fatal 4-way for a tag team. I don't think I've ever seen that.
They don't do it very often. I know they've done it before, but they don't do it very often.
I'm going to have to stick with the Rhodes brothers.
I'm going to go on a limb, and I'm going to say Axel and Ryback.
Axel and Ryback? Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Really.
Oh. Okay. Really?
I think
Why?
I think we're going to see the dimension or the cracks start to show with the Rhodes brothers, because I think eventually we're going to see them separate and wrestle at WrestleMania. So I think this could be the sign of it, and I could see Axel and Ryback, since they're not really doing anything with them, might as well pair them together and do a little tag team with them. So that's the reason I say that.
Well, now, if the Rhodes do break up, what do you think the likelihood of my earlier prediction with the Rhodes brothers be? You know, the bit about them going after each other and finally having their father referee the match?
It wouldn't surprise me. I thought it was a great idea, and I think it still very, very, very well could happen. I think it will happen at WrestleMania. I don't think it would be a waste of money to do it before WrestleMania.
Right.
So I say it very well could happen. Cody Rhodes, Dustin Rhodes, with Dusty as the referee. I think that'd be great. Or even better, have him on commentary.
I don't know if that'd be better. I think it'd be better.
Maybe, referee probably would be better, because he has to be like the bearer of kind of like bad news. The fact that he has to be the one to pin.
Because if he's going to be down there among the on the announcers table, you know he's going to be somebody's Huckleberry all night long.
Did you see that was up for like quote of the year for the Slammys?
And that should have won. I'll be your Huckleberry all night long.
Oh, not long.
I still haven't figured out what that meant.
I think that's the reason they had it, because everyone's like, we don't know what this means, but it's quite funny.
It is. It was funny. Okay. And there are probably a ton of people going, what the hell are they talking about?
Oh,
you just had to listen.
Yeah, you just had to hear it.
Okay. AJ Lee versus Natalya. And you know who I like, but I have to be realistic here. I have to go with Natalya.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to see AJ Lee win. I just don't think she will.
I'm agree. I think it's Natalya's time. I think she's kind of been kind of pushed over enough. This is like her second Diva title shot in the past 3 pay-per-views. I think it's her time.
And AJ, sweetheart, as much as I admire your can, I've got to tell you, she just doesn't look like somebody who should be a champion. I mean, she doesn't have the carriage for it. Natalya, on the other hand, I mean, when you think of a champion, in particular a wrestling champion, you would think of the champion should at least carry the appearance of being able to handle just about anything brute strength. AJ does not look that way. So I think from that standpoint, Natalya or Tamina.
Tamina, the Snuka?
Yeah. I think either one of those two, or even Oksana, actually.
Right. She's gorgeous, by the way.
Oh, man. I think any one of those would be just a visual feast for a championship belt. I mean, look at how long Beth Phoenix had it.
Right.
In China. I mean, these were people who looked like they could have been a champion.
Right.
And I'm sorry, AJ Lee, as much as I admire her and I love her to death, I really do. Yeah. She looks what, 14?
But here's the thing that AJ Lee has done that, well, I can't really put China in this conversation, but someone like Beth Phoenix wasn't able to do. And that's make the, WWE Divas title kind of relevant again.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Because AJ Lee, to her disadvantage of her size, she makes up with charisma and mic work. And I really think that
she's great on the mic.
As far as women go, she really kind of has that it factor that you can't teach. But yeah, from a physical standpoint, yeah, she's not that intimidating.
Yeah.
But I still.
I agree with that, with every one of your points.
Right.
I have no problem with that at all.
Now, if you were to put the title on like Brie Bella.
Yeah.
Then I would be completely, cause she doesn't, to me, she doesn't have the charisma.
She doesn't fit the bill anyway.
Exactly. Nowhere even close.
No.
I mean, I could just picture someone like Natalya, like breaking her in half, because she probably could.
Yeah. No question. She could probably, what's her husband's name?
I'm sorry. I just spilled like chai tea on me.
I thought you were just talking to Chip. I thought you were talking to yourself. Okay.
Well, it was.
Okay. Well, let's see. Last week it was the F-bomb. So
there was and I'm sober today, people. I promise.
Yeah, you had
I got coffee today. Okay.
That's why sometimes he drinks beer, because he doesn't know how to drink coffee.
It's actually chai tea. So
what is chai tea? Chai tea
is a female version of coffee. That's the only way I can really explain it. It's a tea.
My mind is reeling with sarcastic remarks.
Oh, I know. I wanted to say something inappropriate, but I decided not to. So I decided to go with female version of coffee, because it really is. But I'm not a coffee drinker. I love chai tea.
Okay.
And I'm man enough to admit it.
Okie dokie. Well, I have pink pants.
What? No, you don't. What?
What was it you were almost going to comment on last week?
I don't remember. Pink pants.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because
you saw.
That's right, because I saw pink pants.
Yeah. No, what those? I can wear. Hey, it takes a real man to wear pink. And those are my scrubs.
Oh, okay.
Those are my scrubs I got when I was in the hospital.
Oh, excuse me.
They're pink scrubs, and I like my scrubs. Anyway, we mentioned a little bit about WrestleMania.
Right. Which SCI will be represented.
Yes, indeed.
Don't know how many of us, but we will be represented.
Well, we will indeed be represented at WrestleMania this year. Besides SCI being there, any word on Taker? I haven't heard a peep.
I think Taker's a go. I think right now what they're trying to figure out is who's going to be the one to face him. What I've heard is they are planning on building Hogan versus Cena.
Now, I have heard some inklings about Hogan, but it's with Cena?
Yes. Because I would have said Undertaker facing Cena would make sense. But now the realistic expectations of Taker and Brock Lesnar make sense. If in fact they do want to do Hogan versus Cena, because to make this relevant, Hogan versus Cena would be like when Hogan faces The Rock. It was just an epic battle between two heirs. The only problem is, can a 60-year-old man still do what he did even 10 years ago?
Well, if you look at this historically, the answer is yes. I mean, look into the boxing ring, for instance. The guy who did the George Foreman. George Foreman. Yeah. I mean, he came back in later years, and he scored an actual world heavyweight title.
Yeah, that's true.
So I mean, from a historical standpoint, yes, this is very possible. This is very possible. And I'm not comparing professional wrestling with professional boxing, because I know that's those two worlds just really don't match. But even still, from the idea of, from an athletic competition, or an athletic prowess of any kind whatsoever, the age factor does not really play in that much.
I mean, from an entertainment standpoint, because that's what we always have to remember. It's entertainment.
Yes.
John Cena is one hell of an athlete.
I think this would be very entertaining.
And I think it would be entertaining. And I think what they're really trying to figure out, like internally, is can they put on a solid match to entertain the fans? In my opinion, if you put Hogan and you put Cena in the ring and let Cena carry the match, because it will be entertaining just because of the fact that people get to see Hulk Hogan back in the WWE ring again.
Who do you think the crowd would cheer? Quite frankly, I think crowds are pretty much tired of either one of them. And
I would say I would lean towards Hogan, just because from a WWE standpoint, they haven't seen Hogan.
That's true.
In several years. So I'd almost think it'd be like a split reaction, kind of like when Hogan faced The Rock, where it was really cut down the middle. It was half Hogan, half Rock. Or when he faced Ultimate Warrior back at WrestleMania 6, I believe, when it was just completely split. I think we could see the same situation happen, because Hogan had the kids back in the late 80s, early 90s. Now it's Cena that has those kids.
Yeah.
So the ones that be cheering Hogan will be people like myself that cheered him as a kid. So, would be about half the audience, if not a little bit more.
And do you think today's generation is still going to stick with Cena, or do you think they're going to jump ship and go over with Hogan?
No, I think they would stick to what they know. That's what's important to understand, is they know John Cena.
Got to dance with who brung you.
Exactly. They know John Cena. They know they can't be disappointed with John Cena. They know he's the hero. So you stick with what you know. And if I was a kid and I just started watching the past 5 years, you will have no clue who Hulk Hogan is.
Yeah.
So you would stick with John Cena.
Well, if you read anything, well, never mind, because now I'm trying to imply that people in this day and age read. Mm-hmm. I was going to say, if you read any kind of history at all, you probably would have known who Hulk Hogan was.
You'll probably know the name.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Yeah, not much else there. But, as far as Taker is concerned, of all of his possible matches, I think the worst possible choice would be Brock Lesnar. I think that would be absolute, and that's only because of how many times has Brock Lesnar been in the ring and then he just disappears.
Yeah.
I mean, be faithful to the audience, dude.
If it happens, I don't think Brock Lesnar will win.
I hope not.
I think it will be Taker beating him, because the fact that
at the same time, I think it's time for Taker to lay down.
Yeah, but if they're going to lay down, they're going to do it to build somebody. I mean, like I've said on previous podcasts, you cannot let Undertaker lose to someone like Brock Lesnar.
No.
Who is a part-time wrestler, because it does nothing for Brock Lesnar. It does nothing for WWE. The person that beats Undertaker has to be someone that is full-time, that can continue to build from that point on with every Monday night, pay-per-views, world titles as the face.
And to quote something from a current storyline, letting Brock Lesnar defeat Taker in WrestleMania would not be good for business.
Correct.
And that is just about as true statements go.
But my only issue is I don't see a young superstar right now that would be worth putting up there. Now, I say that from the aspect of Daniel Bryan and CM Punk are in their mid-30s, so I don't know how much more you can get out of them in the next 5 years.
I don't know. I just don't know. I'll tell you, one person I'd love to see go against Taker, though, would be the guy with a beard from England.
Wade Barrett?
Wade Barrett, yes. I would love to see a match between Wade Barrett and Undertaker. I think that would be a dynamite match. But What do I know? Anyway, check out TLC on Sunday night in a TV set near you, and then back next week right here inside of your computer for another episode of this here podcast that we're awful darn proud of. It's a podcast we just call
SCI.